The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. While still more people gather in the crowd, Jesus said to them, "This generation is an evil generation. It seeks a sign, but no sign would be given it, except the sign of Jonah. Just as Jonah became a sign to the Ninevites, so will the Son of Man be to this generation. At the judgment, the Queen of the South will rise with the men of this generation, and she will condemn them, because she came from the ends of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon, and there is something greater than Solomon here. At the judgment, the men of Nineveh will arise with this generation and condemn it, because at the preaching of Jonah they repented, and there is something greater than Jonah here." The Gospel of the Lord. There is something greater here. In the context of the gospel is in reference to Jesus Christ himself. Something greater is him who is the Son of God. Something greater is here. So we may hear those words and think of it from the context of in the past. When Jesus was saying this, he was saying that there is something greater here because he is there. And then just leave it as something in the past. But what if we were able to say that of today, right here, right now? Could you say that there is something greater right here, right now? Lest we miss it, like in the times of Jesus Christ. So I want you to follow, good luck, I hope you have a cup of coffee this morning. I'm going to follow through a sequence of theological and philosophical statements, and as you consent to them, hopefully it will lead you to just recognize that there is something great right here, right now. So let me just start with just philosophy, human reason, and then we'll go to divine revelation, and then we'll start drawing some conclusions based on the above. So first, just from human reason, just from using our intellect and seeing creation, seeing things as it unfolds, and using our human capacity to think, we can derive three principles that will naturally lead us to believe there must be a God. And this is the classical three points in philosophy that just leads us to this conviction that there is a God. So the first statement is, everything has a cause and effect. So there needs to be something outside the spectrum of time and space of cause and effect that cause everything into motion. To think of it of the domino effect. One domino hitting the other. If you start going back, eventually there has to be one domino that was moved by something beyond the cause and effect, beyond time and space. So if you keep just going back, the Big Bang, okay, well then who caused the Big Bang? It doesn't cause by itself. Something had to cause it based on the principle of cause and effect. So the first principle is, there must be a God who is the source and the origin of everything that there is. Okay. Second logical argument, things are and they could not be. And if they are, it's because something somehow is sustaining them into existence. So what is that? That participation in being itself. What is being? The source of all being, God himself. So let it be because of the origin, the source of everything. Let it be as the sustainer of everything that exists, that is. Or the third one is we see everything in creation that has a beginning and the end. Every cycle of life just shows that there's a birth, there's a death, there's a beginning, there's an end. Well, if there is a beginning, an origin, and that being God, and he is who's sustaining it, eventually everything comes to the end. What is the end? And eventually, the ultimate end being God himself. So just with human reason, God as the origin, God as the sustainer, God as the ultimate end. Now let's take some divine revelation. Well, ultimately, that God that just by human reason and looking at the signs of the times and nature, we come to conclude there must be something beyond just time and space, cause and effect, beyond all this. But Jesus Christ comes and reveals that there is a God, and that God is our Father, a loving Father, a good Father, a wise Father, a powerful Father who is in control. From where everything comes out, he is the one who sustains it into existence, and he's drawing it to himself. God, our Father, loving Father. So now let's begin to apply the two human reason, divine revelation, into the old age question of, well, if all of that is true, then why is there evil? Why there's suffering? Why there's pain in the world? The conclusion to that is twofold. One, because we are created free, and in our choices we often have chosen wrong things that now has its consequences reflected in suffering and pain and in evil. But is not God all-powerful? Can he not just, and it's all gone? Yes, he can. But here's the second principle. If he's allowing it, it's because through it, in his love, in his goodness, in his wisdom, and in his power, he's allowing it because through it, he's working something greater. That's the Paschal mystery. The Father will not allow his Son to die on the cross unless through the death he's bringing something greater. And what is the greater? Resurrection, reconciliation in the entire human race, ascension into heaven, Pentecost, institution of the church, the sacrament, salvation of the entire human race. We could keep going forward. So why is there evil? Why there's pain? Why is there suffering? One, because we are created free, and we could choose not to do the good. Therefore, there's evil, pain, and suffering. But also, in his power, wisdom, goodness, and love, God allows it because through it, he's working something greater. Then if he's working something greater, each day that passes is God leading us to a greater good. And if that's true, then each day there is something greater right here, right now. By the mere fact that he has us in the path, in a pathway towards greatness, each day, each hour, each second, it is God leading us into our greater good, then we can say in logic and in faith, there is something greater here, now, working, prompting, guiding, orchestrating,